Rockland County, right? You mentioned that once before?
I mean, it's owned by
Rockland County. Okay, so I was accurate about that. Rockland Community College, POTUS is stopping by on May 22nd. It's going to be something for Representative Mike Lawler. And then you got the next one, Mike.
The next one is that the school budget's approved across Rockland County. So all of our students will be getting proper education.
Fantastic. And Rockland County gas sales tax cap starts on June 1st.
As well, those gas prices are skyrocketing. Insane. Like crazy Eddie. They're almost as bad as the weather today.
That's right. It's going to be wild. And we also have a guest coming up on Rockland News. Who's that, Mike?
Jen Lima, my good friend and classmate.
All this and much more on today's AM Rockland's News. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Rockland News, available on Apple, Spotify, and online at rocklandnews.com. Thanks for joining us today. Here are your hosts, Tom Osa and Mike Kluger.
Well, we know this audio is a little bit heavy duty in the background, so we're just going to turn off the music in just a moment as soon as it dies down.
And we're getting chill here. We're getting a little zen.
Very, very chill. You know,
before we start the show, I have a question.
We have a lot of things to cover.
I know, but I have a quick question.
Please.
Because I was going to say, we had a lot of ados today. Because usually you say, without further ado, here's our show.
Right.
And normally we would have been on like 20 minutes ago. But we had some technical difficulties. What is an ado? Because they always say, without further ado.
Right. Yeah. So I think it has to do with action, but some sort of a stunted action. So do is like move forward, and then it's do.
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, I'm just trying to phonetically sound it out. I was very good at phonics back in grammar school,
but that's not how the word is.
The teachers patted me on the back, so I think it was a good thing.
I don't know who your teachers were. Let's go find out.
Well, it was during a time where nobody gets a trophy, so let's put it that way. It's a little bit different than this year's and this generation's atmosphere. Nothing against them. Congratulations to all the students and everything. We got a lot to cover, Mike. Today. It's going to be wild, but I mean, I think the first important thing is to get the weather, the hippy dippy weather, man.
I am your hippy dippy weather man with the hippy dippy weather.
Hit it,
man.
Baby. Yeah.
Today is gonna be hot. Hot. Like 96 degrees hot.
Hot town, summer in the city.
Wet, humid, muggy. It's supposed to thunderstorm today.
Say the word. Say the word.
Moist.
It's
You love it. You love it, Tom. You know you love it.
No.
Moist. I'll say it again.
No. Go.
Here we go.
If you got to say it again, say it. Just.
I mean, it's probably going to be moist tomorrow.
There's only one thing I'm more afraid of on this show.
Than moist?
Yeah, dead air. Keep going.
I mean, that's fair.
Just keep going.
All right. So after tomorrow, it drops down into the 50s and then into the 60s on Friday. And then back raining 50s on Saturday, Sunday.
Back and to the left.
And then when we broach back into and Memorial Day seems very early this year.
It is, yeah.
But it's because of the way June 1st is coming on that day. So everything's a little strange. But when we get to that Memorial Day, it's going to be 68, a little cloudy, but seemingly kind of pleasant for your barbecues and all of those kind of things.
Yeah, it should be a fun weekend. Hopefully the looks like it's going to need to clear up on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But got some clouds there.
Saturday is going to pour on us.
Cartoon graphic that we're looking at here.
Yeah. So that's
Saturday.
the hippy dippy weather, man. With your hippy dippy weather.
This actually messes with my plans. And thank you, Mike, for giving us the weather. So, Saturday, it's going to suck because I got a whole bunch of like renovations that I got to do inside the house, and it's going to be raining. So at least it's not going to be too hot.
And if you're inside, you can fire up those air conditioning.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't we have a sponsor that helps you with your cooling needs?
We do. And I came up with a great idea for this, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
I told you I was going to have fun with this effing soundboard.
Oh,
and
you did.
I am.
Tell me what it is.
Yeah,
we're jamming. We're grooving. Where we going, Tom?
Yeah, baby. All right. So we want to thank our sponsors at AM Rockland News. New York Boulders baseball team, Work Smart New York Business Boot Camp, Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp located in Hackensack, New Jersey for all your ice machine repairs.
Do they do air conditionings too?
They do. They do commercial and residential. They're pretty damn awesome. What else we got over here?
Because you might need that air conditioning today.
Seriously.
Now, if you have the hunger for anything in your belly.
I got the fever.
For the Fiesta Acapulco?
For the Mexican food.
Well, Fiesta's a place to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're feeling a little Japanese, you go to the Kobe Sushi. And tonight is Wednesday, and Wednesday is jazz night.
Yes, every Wednesday and Saturday nights, they have jazz music night. Wednesdays and Saturdays. And if you mention Rockland's News, you get 15% off your entire order, minimum $75. But it is a beautiful atmosphere, 80-person seating, newly renovated last year. 2 bars, and the sushi is off the charts. I mean, I actually turned it into my Facebook profile page thing.
You like the sushi that much?
I'm a fan. You know what I like about sushi is it's elegant. You know, now there's times for chowing down. Like, you know, if you're doing the paisan thing with the pizza and the spaghetti, you just be like nom 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 nom.
Yeah.
But with Kobe sushi and sushi in general, especially when it's well done sushi, like at Kobe Sushi,
isn't it supposed to be raw?
It's a whole ritual. You know, you take the. Yeah, that's true. It's raw. They do it right. All right. So you basically, you see, you broke a Tommy already.
All right.
You know, you use the chopsticks, obviously, and it just feels like a whole ritual that you're doing, like very, very just elegant and not really forced. It's an experience. And for those of you that do go to a sushi restaurant, I do recommend that you definitely learn to use the what do you call the tongs? Not the tongs. What am I?
The chopsticks.
The chopsticks. Thank you.
You just said that.
I recommend that you
This
use
is what happens when I break him, folks.
I recommend that you use the chopsticks in an appropriate manner. So
like you're not stabbing things with it?
Yeah, take the time to really learn how to use the chopsticks because it really adds to the experience. So Kobe Sushi, located in New City, and they got the jazz tonight, Wednesday. I think the Hip Replacements are going to be playing tonight.
They sound a little old. Now, we have been talking about dinner stuff, but it's breakfast time. And the best place to go for breakfast is Whole Shot Bagels.
That's right. Located in Haverstraw, New York on Route 9W. If you mention Rockland's News, you get a free bagel if you're a first-time customer. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, Mike.
Oh, my God. They have so much tasty food there. They have hot Spanish food. They have smoothies. They have all sorts of strange coffee stuff. Clever and Victoria, they make their own iced tea and lemonade.
Yes, exactly.
Homemade.
I love
Not
those,
stuff from the powder. They make it good.
Absolutely. We also have Breakpoint Bowling, and they have a new $2 million facility. Oh, yeah. But they have a $2 million facility. We'll use this one. There we go.
There we go.
They have a $2 million facility. I just keep saying $2 million. A beautiful entertainment center. It's not just about the bowling with the widescreen TVs going literally from one side of the bowling lanes all the way to the other side, 20, 25 bowling lanes. They also have an arcade. They got laser tag. They got a restaurant.
There's a bar.
Music. There's a bar. It's just awesome. You know?
It is truly an entertainment center.
Yes, sir. We got Stony Point Massage, Kimio Matthews, who's a licensed massage therapist for many years. She has Stony Point Massage located right on Route 9W. She's just a wonderful, wonderful person. She's got a very well-trained group, a team of licensed massage therapists that can make you feel good. When you walk in, you may not feel so fantastic. When you walk out, you will be feeling fantastic. That's stonypointmassage.com. Got the UPS store in West Haverstraw. What else we got?
Ivy Rehab, physical therapy in West Haverstraw, New York. 99 Signs.
Because a sign with a business without a sign
is a sign of no business.
All your digital billboard and portable sign needs, check out 99signs.com.
They have a sign for everything.
They really do.
Like, if you can come up with it, they can build it.
I still want to use that Tesla song. Signs.
That's not their song. They covered it.
All right, you keep on saying that. So
we're gonna have to look that up. We'll get back to you, listeners, or
we'll find out.
Wait. We can call in now, right?
We have call-ins.
Now, how can our listeners call in?
I'm not ready to disclose my own phone number. I'm actually getting a SIM card on my phone. Yeah.
So we don't have the number yet.
Yeah. I have to apologize to those of you. We do have call-in, but we're doing call-in with people that we know at the moment. All right. But within the next, I'd say, week and a half to 2 weeks, we'll have the ability to take, I have a dual SIM on my iPhone. So basically, I drop in another SIM card, and then we'll have a second phone number that you could call into, and then you could post your
Can we call
comments
it
with us.
the hotline?
We could call it well, today we can, because it's going to be 96 degrees.
It's going to be so hot.
Yeah. So yes, we'll call it the hotline. Yes, Mike.
All right. So if you're living in a place that has no air conditioning and you need a new place to live,
Yes,
call Susan Bova.
from Coldwell Banker Realty. Fantastic realtor. She helped my mom out with something a few years back, and she is very well ensconced in the local real estate area, especially the high quality residential complexes or single family homes. So Susan Bova from Coldwell Banker Realty.
If you have any dings or scratches in your car,
Hmm.
FZ Perfection Auto Body Repair in Congress, New York.
They can make your Ford Pinto look like a Trans Am or even a McLaren.
Not a Yugo.
Not a Yugo. That's probably a better. I was like trying to like search for different cars to compare.
That's Chevy Nova.
Point is, they can make your car look absolutely awesome. They got a full painting, ding removal, and auto body repair facility located in Congress, New York.
Now, we are not quite to summer, so it is still spring. So if you are still doing that spring cleaning
Mhm.
and you have a lot of junk in your house, like so much so that it will not fit in the trash cans, you call Clean Space Maintenance Management Company. They will bring a dumpster, put it at your house. You dump all the trash in there, and then our buddy takes it away.
That's right. Tony and Georgia, Clean Space Maintenance Management Company, and they've been in business for many years. It's a family-owned business. But in addition to that, they have the mobile dumpster. Mobile, I tell you.
Mobile. Well, aren't all dumpsters mobile?
Depends.
Well, don't think you put your Depends in the
No,
dumpster,
no.
but-
We're really trying to break each other today. This morning.
it's one of those things.
Mike knows I'm cranky as a mofo right now, so he's like, I'm gonna get him. I got him on tilt.
I only have had a third of a cup of coffee so far, so
I'm already doing like at 8:31 in the morning, my weird power move hand, like with, I don't know if anybody's ever seen this. It's like, Smithers, yes, like with the, not like you're praying, not like you have your hands like just partially apart, like you're in like Street Fighter. Oh, you reckon? It's like you touch like each of the tips of your fingers against each other, and then you look like, sinister or something.
I mean,
So,
you're not so sinister.
it's my defense mechanism.
I mean, it's hard for Tom to look sinister when he's wearing a T-shirt of the Muppet animal on a drum set.
Yeah.
Which one of my favorite characters.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
He's so great.
Clean Space Maintenance Management Company, and they can bring over the mobile dumpster to your domicile, and you can just toss things into it. You give it a tossing. You toss it in, and then they take it and they bring it over to the dump. So it's $199 plus a few remediation fees, but you have to mention Rockland's News for that deal. $199 mobile dumpster, and I'll toss it into it. Boom, you take it away and it's gone. Bam.
So one of my favorite sections of this list,
Tossing.
the craft beverage list.
Yeah, buddy.
So we got District 96, which is in New City and in Nyack, right? And in conjunction with the Burger Loft. Great burgers, great beers. Go check them out.
Right a room.
Noble Experiment, the Rockland County's newest brewery in West Nyack. They also have a food truck in the back of their establishment. Round Table Brewing in the Garner Arts Center. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the Garner Arts Center. It's a great place. Go get a beer and go check that out. Stony Point Brewing Company, which is served out of the Bricktown Brew House over on Railroad Avenue in West Haverstraw. Say hello to David Ludwig. Red Barn Cidery, which is part of Dr. Davies Farms.
Dr. Davies Farm Stand, yeah.
And although you cannot get it at Van Houten's also has, Van Houten's is a garden center. They also have a cidery. They have a facility way upstate, but I know there are other places that you can go get that beverage. But but go check out Van Houten. It's a really cool place.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely got to check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And other things to consume, like the Flowery, which is not a craft beverage place. It is a craft cannabis place.
Now, I don't know much about this cannabis thing,
but you're learning.
Yeah. I'm understanding a little bit more about, like, the different types, like, for instance, sativa and indica, as well as CBD versus THC, which is the two main compounds that give you, like, either a head rush or a physical relaxation sensation. So yeah, I find it very interesting. And I think there's about 468 tinctures.
That's a lot.
Yeah. That are available at places such as the Flowery.
So you bring up the word tincture, right? Most people, when they think about cannabis, they always think about smoking it.
Right.
You roll it, you smoke it, right?
Yeah.
There are so many ways to put cannabis into your life. It is a herbal medicine. I don't know if the doctors in modern medicine have really like jumped on the bandwagon for this.
Well, they haven't. And I think one of the things has to do with the designation that it's had over the years. And again, I did my research on this, is like Schedule 1 versus Schedule 3.
Which is Schedule 3 now.
Schedule 3 now, yeah. But originally it was like Schedule 1, which is like basically putting it in the same category as
Heroin.
opioids. Yeah,
As
opioids, heroin. Yeah, so it's like, from what I understand, like when you have THC or cannabis in general in your system, from what I understand.
Because you're learning.
Right, I'm learning. Yeah. It doesn't turn you into like,
A crazy monster.
Train stopping or anything like that.
Oh, that was a cool movie.
Yeah,
Very strange.
Absolutely.
Very
or
strange.
what was the other one? It was I don't know, I can't think of it this morning, but there's a few other movies that are like pretty intense and stuff like that.
So that kind of finishes up our list. So I think it's time to talk about the news.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to need to go visit the Flowery before they digest the stuff that's going to be happening on Friday.
Well, and Friday, you're going to need, as Rocklanders, we are going to need a little bit of patience when you are moving about.
Just
because, like Axl Rose sings, just a little patience. Because, as Tom mentioned earlier, the president's coming, which means all of his people are coming, which means all the security is coming, which means traffic is going to be obnoxious. Stay at home on Friday.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the president of the United States is going to be taking a visit over to Rockland County, specifically Rockland Community College. President Donald Trump will visit Suffern for an official White House event with Congressman Mike Lawler. They're joint. See? You can go to the Flowery
and get the joints. Right?
Joint appearance will take place. Listen, hey, and I'm going to say this for the record, for those of you that are listening. We're just trying to put a little bit of humor into this. We know that there's very, very strong feelings on both sides about this. We recognize it. We're not trying to convince you to think one way or the other. We're literally just looking to report the news, especially on this. So, if you hear us being campy, it's not for in any way, I'm saying this for the record, it is not in any way trying to adjust your political belief system in any way. I mean that.
No, but we do want to discuss how this affects us in Rockland.
Yes.
And
exactly.
traffic is going to be obnoxious.
Traffic is going to be freaking insane.
As we have mentioned in the past, in our past shows, we are very concerned about traffic in Rockland County.
Yeah, it's our mandate this year.
It's one of our mandates. The other one, I think, is to support the arts as we do.
Heck to the yes.
Right.
That's our mandate.
Yeah.
All right. So the joint appearance is going to take place at the Eugene Levy Fieldhouse at Rockland Community College campus, with the president scheduled to deliver remarks at 3 p.m., at least according to current reports. Organizers expect heightened security, potential traffic disruptions, as you said.
Right. And
you're going to have a lot of law enforcement around. So, there's a lot of traffic detours and this and that. It's last time, from what I understand, was it Eisenhower that was here last time? Or no, it was 73.
That would have been Nixon.
Yeah, it was Nixon. No, I'm sorry. It was Gerald Ford. I'm going to find out.
The last time we had a president at Rockland Community College?
Not at Rockland Community College, just Rockland County in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Last one was Gerald Ford, who campaigned at the Rockland County Courthouse in New City on October 13th, 1976.
Ah.
1976.
Because if it was 1973, it would have been Richard Nixon.
Right. And also that is because 76,
The 76ers.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of 6'7".
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So that's something that's happening.
So moving on to the next thing.
Right.
Yesterday, Rockland County had their local school budget elections.
They did.
And all of those budgets were approved across Rockland County.
Mm-hmm.
East Ramapo, Suffern, Clarkstown, North Rockland, Pearl River, and Nanuet, Nyack, and South Orangetown districts each passed spending plans signaling community support for academic programs and capital improvements.
Right.
In East Ramapo, the votes also approved a bond for building upgrades, while in Suffern and Clarkstown, the turnout was strong as residents backed investments in technology and security. Board seats across the districts were filled without major upsets. Officials say that the approval will provide stability as schools plan for enrollment growth and continued recovery from the pandemic disruptions.
Right. Exactly. And I got word that even, for instance, my wife, who works for the Nanuet Public Library, she's the director over there, the school budget over there passed. So, and I believe 2 school board members are up for election. We don't have confirmation on those individuals who were running for school board. So we don't know that. We also know that in North Rockland, that the budget was passed in North Rockland. I saw that on the North Rockland Facebook community group. So a lot of school budgets. And here's a good factoid, and it was something that was posted the other day by my colleague, Aiden Hand, who's the manager of Key Bank in Muncie. He said the biggest chunk of local taxes is from the school board. So
Truth.
Those of us that did not vote yesterday,
you don't get to complain.
Right. So, that's an important piece for the coming elections because, I don't know if anybody notices, but it looks like budgets are tightening up just a little wee bit.
And I want to get on my civic soapbox for a minute.
Please do.
Because there are some of us, Tom included, who do not have children in any school district.
Right.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't pay taxes to the school district.
Right.
Do you want dumb people being raised up around you to make everything worse? Or would you like nice, smart people so you can have good doctors, good lawyers, good everything right here in Rockland County?
Yes, exactly.
And that's why giving money to the school districts and allowing them to have this budget so our children, whether it's your direct child or just the children of Rockland County, can be supported, can be educated, can make something of themselves, and really be productive members of society.
Yeah. And when you have a high level of talent, you can be present while you're looking to accomplish something. So education is more than just, oh, I went to college and I got this degree and blah, blah, blah. I didn't give a damn about the degree when I went to college. And I really did try to focus in high school. But, it was like I was trying to follow my passion.
Right.
All right. And I think I accomplished that. But the thing that I really got out of my education is really being able to deep research on a lot of things. And when you go to get your education, you're really looking to have a full-fledged education so that you can be a valuable contribution to society around you.
Right. I was up visiting a friend last weekend, and he has a 13-year-old daughter, and she had just taken a history exam. And she was like, "Oh, I passed my test." Blah, blah, blah. And we asked her what was on her test. And she's like, "I don't know." I was like, "But you passed." She's like, "It's history. Why should I have to know about this?"
Oh, I could speak to her on that.
Please, let's tell our listeners why history is important, Tom.
Well, I mean, the age-old adage is if we forget about history, we're doomed to repeat it.
And we have had a lot of bad things happen to us as humans that we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. And we're in a time in history where it seems like there's a lot of generational change that's happening in a very short period of time. So that's why it's really important, especially during this day and age where, the consumer rules all. That's, just business wise, the consumer rules all.
Which also speaks to voting with your dollar.
Yes. Yeah. And you have that ability, going into the booth to place your vote on our local elected representatives is important. but you can also vote with your dollar by choosing to patronize the various stores that support the community.
Right.
You know? In more news, we got the gas sales tax cap. It's
speaking of voting with your dollar and things that we end up having to pay,
yeah,
one way or the other, because whether you are a passenger or an owner of a vehicle, gas prices are astronomical.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a gas sales tax cap that starts June 1st. Relief at the pump is on its way, Rocklanders, as a new measure capping the county's gasoline tax takes effect on June 1st. Under the plan, the county's 4% tax will apply only to the first $3 per gallon rather than the full price, saving drivers about $1.60 on a typical fill up when the gas costs almost $5 a gallon. The cap is scheduled to remain in place through March 1st, 2027, and officials say it will help offset the rising fuel prices without significantly reducing county revenue. County Executive Ed Day and Legislature Chairman Jay Hood Jr. call the change a modest but meaningful step to ease the burden on families. And this also is a window into why your local politics are important. Because if we were talking about, say, the governor or something like that, they are less concerned about what's going on here in Rockland. We have to go send our representatives that we have elected. But someone like Ed Day, he cares about Rockland. He cares about Rocklanders.
I get that sense over the years.
I've met him several times. I've been to a lot of events that he's been around. He shakes all the hands. He talks to all the people. And
it's pretty funny, too.
I know
he's got a good sense of humor.
Just like you mentioned with the president of the United States, that people feel one way or the other. There is that with Ed Day as well. But I can tell you, Ed's heart is in the right place. You may want to debate me on whether or not he is doing the right thing, but his intent and his heart is in the right place.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, I'm being objective there, but yeah, it's definitely his heart is in the right place. And to boot, so is his administration. The members of the staff that support the objectives that he's aiming to accomplish. One of those is the Global Rhythms Festival that is coming up this summer, and it's going to be one heck of a party, from what I understand.
Hold on.
Yeah, baby.
Get us some global rhythms going. Tell us about it.
All right, so here's the deal. The Global Rhythms Festival is going to be happening this summer, and it's in support of the World Cup that's also happening. It's going to be over at MetLife Stadium. And tickets over there are going to be some like crazy amount. It's going to be like $1,500, $3,000 for a ticket just to get into MetLife Stadium. However, you were going to say something, Mike?
Oh, I was just making sure we're not talking about Rockland here.
No. Yeah, Mike's trying to keep me on point. No, I hear you. And I'm multitasking this morning, just in case you weren't sure. But basically, so the premise here is that if that is the ticket price at MetLife Stadium, people are still going to want to watch the World Cup, and we're going to create an entertaining environment of awesomeness in Rockland County with watch parties all over Rockland. We just got word that yesterday from Jerry Touchband from the Nanuet Chamber of Commerce, they're going to have like the largest screen outdoors to watch the World Cup, and you can catch all of that on our podcast yesterday for Rockland News. But yeah, it's going to be one heck of a party around here, man.
Well, if you want to sit at your house and watch this and you still want some tasty libations, we have mentioned several craft beverages, and I know many of them allow you to do takeout.
They do.
Because they can up their beers. They got the cool labels on them. Support your local craft beverage people, because there was a report that was put out in 2012.
Right.
For every 2 guys opening a brewery, 2,500 jobs are positively affected.
Amazing.
From the farmers to the truck drivers to the people who make glassware to the landlords and all. It is really important to support your local businesses.
Very important. I agree 100% wholeheartedly. And for those of you that are joining us this morning on the various community groups, welcome. We are talking about everything that's happening this week For one, we obviously have the thing that's happening on Friday. You know what it is by this point. We didn't even have to mention it, but just watch out for the traffic out there.
Yeah.
On Friday, whichever way you think about it, watch out for the traffic. Make smart choices and decisions. School budgets were approved across Rockland County. Voters throughout Rockland County have endorsed their local school budgets for the 2026-27 fiscal year. East Ramapo, Suffern, Clarkstown, North Rockland, Pearl River, Nanuet, Nyack, and Orangetown. South Orangetown districts each passed spending plans. The gas sales tax cap starts on June 1st. And what else we got there, Mike?
So Nyack has a $4.5 million New York Forward Award. And it's dispersing it around 9 projects. Village Nyack is set to transform its downtown thanks to this grant, which state officials have allocated among 9 local projects. Selected initiatives include renovating the Angel of Nyack, which is one of my near and dear things. Susan is so great at what she has done with this old church, turning it into a beautiful music venue.
Nice.
While still maintaining services for religion and having a soup kitchen.
Yeah, I went, I don't know if I told you, Mike, but I went to visit the Angel Nyack about 2 weeks ago when I was
not.
So and this is the beautiful thing about it. I've been inside the facility for a concert and it's gorgeous. It's like it kind of takes you into another world. Like the lights.
I love working there. I love working there.
Music meets a little bit of Rainforest Cafe vibe.
Except there's no plants.
There's no plants. But just like the stars and
because all of the beautiful stained glass, because you're literally listening to music in a building designed to be a church.
Yeah.
So
now I went to visit them to talk with them about some things that are happening this summer. And what I came across was the soup kitchen part of it.
Yeah.
On the side of the building. So it's a really, it's a heartfelt facility is what I get
it is one of those things that is a staple in communities, right?
Yes.
They want to give the folks who are abundant a place to be entertained. They want to give the folks who are living in scarcity some food in their bellies and some care. They support all of the food drives and clothing drives. And it's really just a wonderful community place.
Yeah, without a doubt. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff over there over the next few years, and that includes some live streams. I think you and I, Mike, we're going to take our little podcast board on the road. And we actually found some mini podcast boards that now we're all getting into. It's kind of like techie equipment. So
we're getting all nerdy over here.
I enjoy that.
So the other things that are going on, there's construction on the waterfront. There's a restaurant and a public plaza launching a comprehensive branding and wayfinding program to boost tourism, specifically in Nyack. The funds will also modernize the Nyack Center, the Edward Hopper House, upgrade Elmwood Playhouse's facade and their technical equipment, enhance pedestrian lighting and sidewalks, making Nyack safer, and create a mural celebrating the village's history, because we should support our local artists as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mayor Joseph Rand said the investment will revitalize the waterfront while preserving Nyack's character, and I believe that.
Yeah, he's definitely tuned in as mayor, and he's Johnny on the spot. We had those fires in Nyack at 2 different apartment complexes, and he was right on it. Like, just dropped everything and made sure he was coordinated with the fire and police and everything. It was a pretty rough situation over there. So, but he's definitely into beautification, and he understands about real estate because that was, that's how he made his bones.
But he's also a very large supporter of the arts. I have seen him at so many events and so many shows, and he just goes up and he doesn't make it about him. He just goes and is supportive.
Well, I liked what he said about, and there's obviously discussion about affordable housing and, the number of unit deficits that we have. So when we did our video podcast with Beth Cefalu, who is the director of communications for Rockland County, as well as John Lyon, who is the chief of staff for Rockland County, we found out that the rate of growth for residents in Rockland County is 8%.
Wait. So 8% more people.
Correct.
Every year.
I believe that was the stat.
Wow.
Yeah. Now we're talking also rentals, not just like home purchases, but 8%.
That's the amount of people in Rockland County that need a place to live.
Yeah. I need to know what time span. I'm going to look it up, and you
Okay.
can look it up too on our video podcast, and you can check it out on Spotify right now. If you go and do a search, you can check it out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and we could, you'll learn more. But the thing that I found interesting is so 8%, right? And you know how much home building and new housing units? 4%.
So we are at a 4% deficit.
Yes. So
Okay.
that's, it's a significant amount. I mean, originally the deficit in housing units was estimated by Mayor Joe Rand
Right.
to be approximately 7,500 units, give or
Okay.
take. And what he said on the show is that there's a difference between affordable housing capital A and affordable housing lowercase a.
And what is the difference?
Yeah. Uppercase is where it's subsidized, and, like New York State has to apply certain metrics to the number of units that are allocated, for instance, to workforce, to people that, need more resources. They're going to obviously,
Okay.
veterans, things of that nature.
So more of like a social service kind of thing.
Ish. Yeah.
Okay.
And then on the flip side, lowercase a is just, smart building, workforce housing, basically that also helps to support the economy as well. So workforce housing and affordable housing, they're both affordable, but the lowercase a doesn't get subsidized as heavily.
I would argue, Tom, that the apartment prices, the rental prices, and the housing prices in Rockland are becoming less and less affordable, little a.
Yeah, man.
Relative to what we're doing here in Rockland, it almost doesn't make sense, other than if you kind of take the lens and pull it back out and look at it from a Hudson Valley, from a New York State,
Yes.
from a regional kind of place,
Mhm.
which we like to focus on Rockland, but sometimes you need to kind of look at our neighbors and see what's going on. And it's that the prices are going up by simple economics of the demand is high and the supply is low. So
Right.
the folks who have the supply can charge what they want.
Yeah, and it's going to be important to make sure that the developers create good construction. And, from what we're seeing at, for instance, facilities like Admiral's Cove,
Okay.
it seems like at very least, there's some equipment in these supposedly new buildings that didn't withstand the test of time. I mean, that place was open like 3 years ago. The elevators knocked out,
The
heating, air
system,
conditioning.
yeah,
It was
it's
a
all a mess.
mess.
Now,
So,
listeners, if you are having problems with your building because you're a renter,
mhm.
with your landlord, there is a consumer protection place that you can go to
Yes,
in Rockland County, right, Tom?
exactly. The Rockland County Office of Consumer Protection. So if you have a grievance to file, and they recently took over responsibility for licensing, they're going to be the agency that handles the licensing for all of the contractors in Rockland County. Not electricians, I found out. That's still going to be with the building department,
Okay.
which is
Okay.
good.
Okay.
But the rest of it is going to be over Rockland County Office of Consumer Protection. So the way that I'm looking at it is it's going to be a little bit easier to get a license. But if you screw up after you get a license, well, I think Star Trek would call it bonk bonk on the head, bad kids.
Oh, that we're
Yeah,
going
you're
back to
gonna get fined at the
1967 for that.
wazoo if you screw up. So yeah, the liability will really be all on your head. So you better do things right.
Now, listeners, if you are finding that you're not getting the response that you need, you feel like you're being ignored with your complaints, please contact us at rocklandnews.com
/alert.
alert.
Yeah.
Because we want to be your voice. We want to fight the injustices that happen in Rockland County.
Mhm.
We want us all to be able to rise up together. We want to live in a good place that's clean, that's healthy, that's educated,
Mhm.
that has lots of culture,
Yeah.
and tolerant, right? We have so many cultures living here in Rockland County, and there's so many wonderful things about each one of them that it's so much better for us to explore. I hear that there's a Greek festival coming,
There is.
and of the folks who I've known who have gone to that, the food there is off the hook. Like everybody goes grabbing their bellies because they're so full because they couldn't stop eating because it was such tasty goodness.
I know. Pretty amazing,
So I've said this for a long time. If every culture brought their best food forward, we'd be too full to fight.
Yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So
we have more things. A tangled legal dispute has emerged between former Clarkstown police sergeant Michael Garvey and his business partner, pizzeria owner Tom Duran over a failed attempt to purchase a home care service license. Garvey raised about $65,000 from investors, including Duran and other local officers, to acquire a dormant licensed home care services agency license in 2023. When the venture collapsed, due partly to the state's refusal to allow transfer of the license, Duran filed suit alleging that Garvey misled him and failed to return his $30,000 investment. Court filings claim that the company they invested in never legally existed, while Garvey says the deal fell apart because insurance costs were too high.
So I don't even know where to start with this one. I don't know.
Yeah. Seems like there's a dispute. Money's involved and
lawyers are involved. And this goes back to consumer protection, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So again, if you're having troubles, this is where you go. And part of what we're here to do over here at Rockland News is to give you guys the map. Give all of our listeners the map of this is what you do when you're having a hard time. Right. If you can't get your resolution, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
So in Havistraw, moving on to the next
Knights of Columbus
list.
lease plan. This was from Rockland County Business Journal, just to be fair and objective, because everybody reports. We got news from all over the place.
I used a phrase yesterday when I was in a meeting with Tom that we want to have the Rockland County version of the Associated Press.
Yes, we are the Well, actually, we can't say the name that we have for the association.
The association.
No, we don't talk about
the association.
We don't talk about.
It's like Fight Club. It's like Fight Club.
No, we don't talk about it.
We don't talk about Bruno. Oh, sorry.
It's 3 levels deep, baby.
All right. Anyway, the Knights of Columbus building in Havistraw has been vacant for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And the town of Havistraw's long-planned lease of the Knights of Columbus building in the village center faces fresh legal hurdles.
Fresh hurdles.
A petition to the state Supreme Court seeks approval for a 25-year lease, but critics note that the town paid for the property's valuation, potentially violating the Attorney General's guidelines requiring independent appraisals. So the proposed arrangement would give the town most of the building for a one-time payment of $20,000 and a monthly rent of $500, while covering the Knights' taxes and utilities. Opponents argue that the deal shortchanges the taxpayers and undermines the Knights' independence, and the Attorney General's office must respond by the end of this month on May 27th.
Wow, that's kind of a very short period of time.
Well, that's because we're reporting it right now.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Anyway, what's going on in Spring Valley?
Well, residents of Spring Valley are invited to honor fallen service members at a Memorial Day ceremony on Monday, May 25th, which is Memorial Day at 1 p.m. The event will take place at Village Hall, 200 North Main Street in Spring Valley, and will feature remarks from local officials, tributes to veterans, and participation from honor guards. Organizers say that the ceremony offers a moment of reflection and gratitude for those who died in military service and encourages community members to show their respect. For more information, residents can contact the village's Community Relations Office.
So, folks, be part of your community. Come out and support that.
Yeah, exactly.
Next on our list, we're shifting over to New City.
Mm-hmm.
Jewish American Heritage Month. The people of my birth. Rockland County officials, community leaders, and residents gathered in New City this week to mark the Jewish American Heritage Month, recognizing contributions to Holocaust education, tolerance, and emergency services. The celebration honored Andrea Winograd and Ginny Norfleet of the Better Together program of the Holocaust Museum and Center for Tolerance and Education, praising their work promoting the Holocaust awareness and unity. Hassela EMS of Rockland County was also recognized for its life-saving services and dedication to the residents.
Yeah.
The event underscored the county's commitment to diversity and mutual understanding. And if you don't know about the Holocaust Museum, last I knew, I still think it's in the library
there,
at
yeah.
Rockland Community College. I'm
not sure if it's there. I'll go check, but go ahead.
That's where last I knew, that's where it was at. And they put in a lot of work, and they bring a lot of kids in to discuss tolerance. They bring in Holocaust survivors. I've met quite a few of them. When I was employed by RCC, I did a lot of AV support for that. So I knew what was going on anyway, because again, people of my birth, and this is part of the education you get when you're growing up in that culture. But they were bringing everyone in there, and overwhelmingly, whether we're talking about Holocaust survivors or former military that were around during that time.
And you're right, it's at Rockland Community College.
Okay. The overwhelming thing is tolerance, tolerance, tolerance. I remember one of the speakers, he was part of the Liberation Army, Patton's Liberation Army, and he was from New York, and he would talk about the smell of death
Okay.
as they went and liberated this, and how sickly and how atrocious that oppression was. And he himself, being a Jewish American, had extra sympathy, but everyone, all of these Americans who came to help free Europe from the crisis that was going on there, it was this weird, like, how could the population pick on this one culture so poorly and dehumanize them so badly?
Right, exactly.
That you were treating them less than animals at a zoo.
Yeah, I think when it really hit home for me, and again, going back to the history degree and so on, I'm going to stop telling the joke about what the result of the history degree was as far as career. Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, started. But in terms of, I read this book, Death by Government.
Okay.
And it was by I'll get the author for it momentarily, but basically he chronicled the 10 worst genocides. He called them democides because it was like not just related to a particular religion or ethnic group. It was like, just large numbers of people, whatever it was. So he called it democide. And basically, talked about these massacres, right? So take that and we'll correlate it with a very obviously well-revered and really terribly sad movie is Schindler's List.
Right.
Okay. So there's in the book, they're talking about, mass executions and everything like that. And it's chronicled and it's very stark in just looking at that. But then you correlate it with the movie. There's a scene in the movie where one of the soldiers that is responsible for executions, he's standing in front of basically, I'm sorry to say it, a burning pile of bodies.
Right.
And he is laughing insanely. And it's bloodlust. There's something that just happens where groupthink just becomes this horrible thing where everybody's like, oh yeah, that completely makes sense. And then they just don't care anymore. And it's really, that's the thing we can never allow to happen again.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Anywhere. And that includes Iran.
It includes every group on this planet.
Right. Palestine.
We should not be
Israel.
Dehumanizing any group of humans.
Right.
Especially in Rockland County, because we aren't here to, it's a small place.
Right.
There's lots of stuff going on. There is room for us all, even though we're trying to figure out that 4% deflection of housing versus population.
Right.
But folks, look to your neighbor and find some commonality.
Yeah.
I find being in the Jewish culture, the strangest connection that I've seen in another culture, the Scottish. And
I like the Scots.
Right. And I say this
Scottish.
because if you listen to the Scottish language, they have a sound that the Jews have. And I call it the chach. And I don't have a definitive like academic version, but if you listen to these two folks, you almost think that they grew up next to each other and they're borrowing each other's language,
Right,
and they haven't, right?
yeah, it's funny.
So, folks, there's always something that you can find that's wrong, and there's always something you can find that's in commonality. So find the common ground,
Yeah.
even if it's just enjoying a bagel.
Yeah. And you can get your bagels over at Whole Shop Bagels. If you mention Rockland's News, first time visitors get a free bagel. Oy vey.
Oy vey.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the soundboard working. That's right. That's right.
All right. So,
all right.
What do we got next, Tom?
Well, Brian Burns is going to be over at Clover Stadium on May 30th. For those of you that don't know, he's an NFL star. He's bringing a celebrity softball showdown to Clover Stadium in Pomona on Saturday, May 30th. The charity event will pit current New York Giants players, captained by Burns, against a squad led by former running back Brandon Jacobs.
Oh, I loved watching Brandon Jacobs play.
Yeah.
He was so good.
Yeah, he was a beast.
Yeah, he was.
Features veterans from the Giants, Super Bowl. This is number 42 and number 46 teams. Yeah, that's right. Within a span of 4 years. That was the Eli Manning era.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fans can also enjoy a dodgeball competition. Oh, dude, dodgeball.
If you can dodge a wrench,
you can dodge a ball. And Home Run Derby, which proceeds supporting the Hype for Life Foundation, which aids families affected by autism. Notable participants include Ahmad Bradshaw, Amani Toomer, and Sean O'Hara, and tickets start at $50.
And all three of those guys were on those last two Super Bowl winning teams.
Yeah. And this is really the kickoff to what's going to be
I see what you did there.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't even realize I did it, but I did it. But this is going to be we've been talking about. It's going to be one amazing party this summer with a lot of things going on. We got the World Rhythms Festival, but also because Clover Stadium now has artificial turf, they can also host more events without interfering with the actual ball games that happen with the New York Boulders baseball team. And you can get tickets for their 15th annual season right now at nyboulders.com.
So when you're dodging the wrench won't mess up the turf.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So we mentioned Rockland Community College earlier.
Yes,
and although this is not happening this weekend, for the third consecutive year, Rockland County's Office for the People with Disabilities, hosted by Accessible Fun Day it's happening at
RCC.
At RCC at the Fieldhouse.
A lot of stuff happening over there.
Senator Bill Weber's team organized the largest booth offering a variety of games such as ball pong, cornhole, ladder ball, and an 80 by 80 foot space reflecting feedback from previous years. Vendors also provide arts and crafts, balloon animals, information on seniors. The event aims to create an inclusive environment where residents with disabilities and their families can enjoy recreational activities and learn about the community resources and connect with locals and supported organizers. This goes back to support your local business, support your local government, and make sure you get out and vote when it comes to time for the local stuff, because this is how things are affected.
Exactly. Without a doubt. Elmwood Playhouse, and located in Nyack, is presenting Patrick Barlow's adaptation of Alfred Hitchcock's 1935 thriller, The 39 Steps. I might check that out. There's something in my life that's significant, and it's the number 39.
Okay.
We won't talk about why.
That's
Running
right.
through June 6th. Directed by Margaret Young, the production uses a 4-actor cast to portray dozens of characters in a fast-paced blend of suspense and slapstick comedy. I could use some slapstick comedy.
Right. And we do have some really talented actors. We have some talented musicians. And if you happen to be a talented musician and you want to play out more, we have something called Sponsor Band.
We do.
Tell us how to get to Sponsor Band, Tom.
Go to sponsorband.com/sign up. And you're a band, you can send us your information, like maybe a YouTube video or a Spotify song that you've done. We prefer original bands, but we also work with cover bands to help you get more gigs in local establishments in the Hudson Valley.
And if you are a local business that loves music,
Yeah.
such as Yabu Fence or Dana Pest Control,
Mm-hmm.
you can sponsor those bands.
Yes, you can. Yeah. And for
So-
instance, like, we do stuff over at Kobe Sushi. There's some great musicians over there. There's Michael Torres, who
Right.
does jazz music. I think he's going to be there tonight. I forget who's going to, either him or the Hip Replacements.
You said Hip Replacements earlier.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
one of those two bands.
So Mike Torres is probably playing next week.
Yes, exactly. All right. But Rob Eigenbrod stars as protagonist Richard Hannay, who's going to be like, the head honcho for this thing called The 39 Steps. It's a comic thriller over at the Elmwood Playhouse. And his job is to clear his name after being falsely accused of murder while unraveling a spy plot. The staging relies on minimalist sets, rapid costume changes, and physical humor to create an inventive, campy tribute to Hitchcock.
Okay.
Hitchcock. That's a Scottish word.
It's all hockey.
That critics say is both clever and entertaining. Clever from Whole Shot Bagels.
Right.
Yeah.
And folks, Elmwood is one of our premier local theaters, right? Regional theater.
Yeah.
We also have Penguin Rep. We have I just lost the third one in my head, but there are several places where you can go watch
Hopper
a play.
House. Edward Hopper House.
There's Elmwood and
Elmwood,
I'll look it up. I'll get back. Antrim. That's the one I'm
yeah,
thinking of. And
okay.
that's over in Suffern.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So again, please support the arts.
Mhm.
Even if you don't want to go to the show, donate to them.
Mhm.
Tell everybody about it.
Right.
These theaters are small. It is not like going to a huge stadium, and they need as much help as anyone else.
Right-a-roo.
So,
a recent review about this play, The 39 Steps, they applauded the production. They called it an inventive blend of slapstick comedy and Hitchcock style suspense.
You think he was Scottish?
He might have been. After this podcast, we probably would be. The 4-actor ensemble, the review notes, it handles rapid character. I already talked about that. So,
all right.
We got the next thing.
Clarkstown officials to mark the first plantings at Central Nyack Community Garden on May 20th.
First plantings. Woohoo.
Yay, gardens.
Mm-hmm.
The town of Clarkstown will celebrate the first plantings at the Central Nyack Community Garden on Tuesday, May 20th. Supervisor George Holman, town council members, and Central Nyack Civic Association will join after-school children in planting seeds and seedlings at the county-funded garden. The project aims to provide fresh produce for local residents and promote community involvement in sustainable agriculture. Organizers hope that the garden will serve as a model for other towns and encourage families to participate in growing their own food. Now, folks, if you don't want to grow your own food and you want to be supportive, there is something called a CSA, and there are a few of them around Rockland County. CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture.
Yes.
Where you can buy in to this community supported agriculture.
Exactly. That's a beautiful thing.
It is. You get local food, you get to help folk, and you get to help yourself by eating healthy.
Yeah. And I'm Mike, I now make my own hummus.
You do?
I do.
Do you have hold on. Are you going to post your hummus recipe?
No.
Is it a
because I
secret?
actually have a
secret?
secret ingredient. Yeah. So it's like there's the chickpeas and the tahini sauce and the olive oil, but I also have some secret formula that I was like, you know what? This is almost, and I'm not trying to put it in the stores, but this is almost like high quality Whole Foods store quality. I'm very proud of myself, and I'm on the road to better health
and wellness.
Yeah.
Right?
And coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to have our guest, Jennifer Lima,
who is an avid gardener, an avid cook, and a superior wellness coach.
Yep. Bella Vita Alchemy. You can check it out in advance. BellaVitaAlchemy.com. And she's going to be talking about epigenetics 101, so that you can understand the input that you already know that your body has been asking for. Your cells are reading everything as input. The fresh air on a morning walk shifts your blood chemistry. The water you drink or do not drink changes how every system in you operates. The food that you eat hands your cells the actual building blocks they will use today. It all matters. And in this conversation, we're going to talk a little bit about an interesting topic, which is epigenetics. And Jennifer is fantastic at wellness. She's also doing on her website, you could check the wellness check-in. And she also runs 90-day wellness journeys where she checks in with you regularly and helps you to live your best life physically, mentally, socially, maybe spiritually, but
Probably spiritually.
makes you feel good.
All right.
Yeah.
And if you are looking for these plants and you're looking for the seeds, some of the places to look at are
Where would you go? Where would you go?
my first and favorite place to go for food plants is the orchards at Conklin.
Okay.
Not only that, they have the best apples ever.
Mm-hmm.
My personal favorite is the wine sap apple.
Right.
Nice, dark red, super juicy, delicious. And I don't know anybody else other than Conklin's that has that particular variety.
Indeed.
Now, we also have Dr. Davies, which I know is very famous, and a lot of people prefer that. Again, it's kind of like your local pub.
Right.
I'm from North Rockland, so I tend to go over to Pomona. For those who are in other parts of Rockland, it's more convenient to go to Dr. Davies.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are other places to go. There's Down to Earth. There's Van Houten Farms. There's Crocus. I don't actually know how many garden centers we have in Rockland, but there are quite a few. And
12.
I am going to pledge to our listeners that I will go and investigate all of them and interview them all.
Man on the road.
And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
So what's next?
All right. So Rockland County's Economic Development Office and the Women's Enterprise Development Center are offering a series of free small business sprints. Now, I looked this up yesterday about the different workshops, and it's really cool. There's going to be a whole bunch of different workshops this summer, and it's based on a recent survey of 242 local businesses. The sessions are going to address marketing, business development, and also other priorities. So if you're a small business and you're struggling, or if you're a startup and you just don't know how to get your business kicked into high gear, these are the workshops that are there to help you with the information and potentially the resources to help you to take it to the next level. That's not even on the script here. I'm just telling you because I know that that's how this works. Like, for instance, it's part with like the Small Business Administration. And something that I don't talk about on the air that much, and I've been in business for 19 years, but when I first started out, I talk about how I really learned the basic steps in the local library, Rose Memorial Library, located right up the road here. So I did my research, it's like, how do I incorporate? How do I do this, that, and the other? But the other thing that helped me a lot, and I don't talk about it enough, is the Small Business Association.
I thought you were going to say support your local library, which is also important.
Yeah, it's all interconnected.
Right.
So the Small Business Association ran a series of workshops in Spring Valley, mind you, back in the day, in the Key Bank located in Spring Valley, right next to where the train stop is.
Okay.
So it was very interesting because I got some really good information from, I would say, veteran entrepreneurs that have already done it.
Not entrepreneurs that are veterans.
Correct. Yeah.
Although they might have been.
Yeah, some of them veteran businesses, veterans that are also business owners. And what happened was, and it was this group called the SCORE, the Senior Corps of Retired Executives.
I have worked with them before.
Yeah. So they're the Small Business Association is part of these workshops. So they're putting some resources into helping local businesses. And I tend to find, and I don't want to go too deep in this. It ain't a conspiracy theory. It's just that the numbers change over the course of time. If you look at the landscape where, for instance, the Office of Consumer Protection is now the responsible entity for much of the contractors that are aiming to be licensed in Rockland County, there seems to be this shift where, okay, the onus is on the businesses in order to do the right thing, which is good. But it's also important to go to these individual workshops and resources and keep on increasing your knowledge so that you know how to do things right. Education is a big part of small business and even enterprise level business ownership. You have to keep on knowing the steps, and they change over the course of time. They just do.
And there is an office as part of the county, the Office of Economic Development and Tourism,
Hmm.
that they're there to help you find all of these groups and connections and angel investors and all of those kind of things. So
Yeah.
if you are at a loss as to where to start, that's usually a good place.
Yeah. And the workshops are going to begin in June at the Nyack and New City libraries. And we will continue through, not we, they will continue through July. Sorry, I get like all jazzed up with small
He wants to be
business.
a part.
Well, you know what? I'm probably just going to go and report. I'm going to go and report, and I want to catch the atmosphere and just, see what the atmosphere is amongst the small business owners. I mean, I know a lot of small business owners in Rockland, and I'm not stopping with that. I want to know more. Providing small business owners with practical tools to expand their customer base, refine their strategies, and this is to my point before, navigate regulatory requirements.
Okay.
Very important.
Yeah.
So, and then we got some stuff on the arts side of the coin.
Oh, I love the arts.
You do.
The Rockland Center for the Arts will be hold a closing reception and artist talk on Saturday, May 30th, to conclude its Lost Arts exhibition.
Mm-hmm.
The show features work that highlights traditional crafts and skills that have been fading from the modern era, with artists exploring themes of preservation and cultural memory and clothing. And the closing event offers visitors a final chance to view the pieces and engage with the creators about inspiration and techniques.
Yeah.
So I had a friend in college who was an art major, and we had a lot of conversations about why you would become.
He's taking off his glasses, ladies and germs.
Why you would become an art major. And what my friend Adam said to me, he said, you don't go to college to become an artist. You go to college and study art to make sure your art lasts. It teaches you the techniques of using this paint and mixing this way and how do you sculpt and how do you make pottery and all of those things. So from an educational place, and I know many of our listeners are older, and there might be children that are getting to that age where they want to be artists. The idea is, how do you create art that is long lasting?
Mm-hmm.
How do you make those Monets and those Rembrandts and those Van Goghs that you can still go and see today?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the art that is being done in the last century is using materials that don't necessarily last.
Mm-hmm.
And it's things that you wouldn't even think about while you're drawing or sketching or whatever you're doing. The idea is, when you go to school to study art, you're learning about the materials.
Yes.
You're learning about the techniques.
Right.
It's supposed to help you encourage your creativity, but that's just one small step of being an artist.
Without a doubt. So, and Mike, you mentioned about our audience being skewing a little bit older. You would be accurate, and check this out. I want to give this to you to observe. Watch out for, you got to protect the goods there.
Yeah. All right. So
net follows is nothing but like age and gender. So we got 45 to 54. 24% of our audience is aged 45 to 54.
Okay.
Including ourselves.
Right.
Then the next is 35 to 44. That's 21.7% of our audience. And then we got 55 to 64 is 21%. And then it gets interesting. 65 plus is 20%. 25 to 34, 10%. And 18 to 24 is 1.7%. So we are definitely not reaching out to Gen Z right now.
Aren't we missing that category?
Which one?
The one where my children listen, because they're below the ages of 18, and I know at least my kids listen to our show.
Probably they don't add that because they're under the age of 18, and there's privacy concerns about stats. So that would make sense. But 99% of our listeners are in the United States,
of course,
specifically Stony Point, New City, Garnerville, Pearl River, Nanuet, and Haverstraw. Woot woot, Haverstraw.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty good thing. So speaking to what you're saying is like, our audience does, it skews a little bit older, and that's okay because we're looking to communicate with people.
And we want those folks who do have children who are under the age of 18 to encourage them to be the best humans that they can be.
Live your best freaking life, ladies and germs.
Put your best foot forward and be kind.
Yeah. Be kind.
Right?
So we're going to have Jennifer Lima on in approximately 1.5 minutes. We got time for one more story. Mike, take your pick. We got plenty of stories.
Let's see. Who do we want to talk about? We already talked about that.
And let's give a huge shout out to Mike, our co-host.
What?
We're co-hosts on the show together on AM
Why are you
Rockland
shouting
News.
out to me?
I'm just saying because I want to give you a shout out.
Hey!
And let's give a shout out to myself too as well.
There you go.
All right, Mike did that. That's
Anyway,
basically how I roll.
I don't know. There's so much stuff to talk about. Clarkstown Parks and Recreation. So, in its latest newsletter, Clarkstown's Parks and Recreation Department urges residents to support camp scholarships and other programs on Hudson Valley Gives Day. That's the thing. Hudson Valley Gives Day. It's May 20th, which is today.
Yay.
The bulletin also outlines summer camp schedules, mini golf, pool pass details, and invites seniors to a bingo night on May 19th, which was yesterday. Additionally, it reminds residents of the town's Memorial Day ceremony on May 22nd and encourages community participation in these upcoming events. Now, I mentioned I was away last weekend, and one of the places I went to was a state park.
Right.
New York State has more state parks than any other state in the nation.
Wow.
There's something called an Empire Passport. And what the Empire Passport does is it gives you not a free pass, but a budget pass, I guess, to all the state parks in the entire state. And we have quite a few right here in Rockland. There are pools, there are hiking trails, and some of those places, like Bear Mountain,
right?
You got to pay to park.
Yeah.
This hooks you up.
This is a good thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we want you as Rocklanders, especially on beautiful days, to get out there and breathe the air and be part of nature.
Yeah.
And these state parks, and again, you're already paying taxes for it, folks, so you might as well use the things that you have.
Without a doubt.
There's Nyack Beach Park, which I believe is a state park. There is High Tor, Low Tor.
Let's not forget, I mean, even just locally, we got, for instance, over at the Stony Point Battlefield.
Right. That's another one.
Oh, you want to hear a life hack? So let's say, for instance, if you want to go to Rockland Lake, and I think the amount to park there is like $8 or $10 or whatever. You could go over to the Stony Point Battlefield first, get a $5 parking pass. That's actually applicable to all state parks.
And this is what I'm talking about the Empire Passport, which I believe is $100 for the entire year.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So let's say parking's $10. You go out 10 times, it's paid for.
Nice.
Right. So
it's amazing,
folks,
man. Smart.
Go check it out. Be a part. Go to the parks. Be part of our community.
Absolutely.
And don't litter.
And we have our guest on for 9:30 this morning. We have Jennifer Lima from Bella Vita Alchemy. And as I promised you earlier in the show, we're going to be talking about something that is pretty interesting that I didn't even realize this was a word, but epigenetics. And Jennifer and she has been working on wellness programs for years now. You can visit her at bellavitaalchemy.com. Jennifer, thank you for being on Rockland News today.
And I would like to add, Jennifer is homegrown North Rockland.
Homegrown. How's it going?
I'm great. Hi, Tom. Hi, Mike. How are you doing?
We're doing great today in this 90 bazillion degree day.
Hot town, summer in the city.
Yeah.
You know?
How do we keep cool, Jen?
Yeah. So what's going on today?
Yeah.
So, you sent us over the information about the program that you're going to be running. So tell us, I looked at this morning, and epigenetics, and it seems like basically, if I'm reading this correctly, and feel free to just say no, is basically just really the environment around you has a significant effect on one's own body. So is that part of what this is, or tell us more?
Yes. Okay. So epigenetics, it comes from the word genetics, the DNA that you got from your biological parents,
Mhm.
or RNA. And epi is from the Greek word that means on, above, associated with. So what epigenetics is, it's the science of how your daily life shapes which genes get turned on, turned off, how loudly they express themselves, and pretty much everything you do is an input.
Gotcha.
So
That makes sense.
So sunlight, sleeping, nutrition, hydration, the environment, your environment. So like, the chemicals around you, allergens, literally stopping to smell the roses. It's all input. And people don't realize that everything you do does affect your genes. And one of the reasons why I'm talking about this so much is that it's kind of all over the wellness and beauty space right now. And I counted, and I didn't count. Amazon counted for me. But when I put in the word epigenetics into Amazon, 738 products came up, and I eliminated like the books. So like 400 of those things were books about it. And if you look at it, there's just, there's mostly like there's face creams and, there's all kinds of things like, what did I see here? Like, DNA repair skincare to support your natural renewal, promising longevity and youthful looking skin. And, there's also energy. There's also like energy drinks and, protein powders and all these things. There's also genetic testing that you can have done to test your individual, epigenetics of how well your body's, I don't know.
Yeah.
What it actually, if it actually does anything.
And I would imagine it's also like the relationships as well. The stress level that some relationships could potentially cause.
Even so far as to what music you listen to changes your vibration, right? Because
it does.
Right? The energy waves, we are made up of water, and there is science that says that if you put sound towards water, it changes the vibrational thing. Ta-da, magic.
It also, there's a thing out there right now that supposedly 528 hertz is a healing frequency that repairs your DNA. Whether that happens or not, I don't again, I'm a scientist. I'm very suspicious until I've read actually, all of the papers about it.
I can tell you that if
it makes you feel better, then good.
If you hop onto YouTube and play any of those like hippy dippy woo woo like healing frequencies, they're at least chill and zen, and it kind of calms you down, I have to say. Sometimes I'll just play it when I'm all agitated, and it really like brings my level down, gets me a little chill,
Yeah. No, hippy dippy woo woo, you're talking about like some of my closest friends.
Exactly.
And they tell me things they're doing. I'm like, okay, do you feel good doing it? Okay, then great.
There you go.
They're not hurting anybody. They're not hurting themselves. But the thing is, like, there's just, there's all these products out there. And the thing is that becomes dangerous is that when talking about epigenetics is that there are products out there that say that it repairs your DNA or it changes your DNA. And the thing is that no, epigenetics does not. It doesn't. Things don't change your DNA. Your DNA is your DNA.
That's fair.
And there's a whole other conversation about changes that can happen between generations and things like that, which I'm not going to get into. That's like a whole other thing.
That's another show.
But that's another show, and that's I need like a dry erase board and PowerPoint for that.
Well, maybe you can come on to the video podcast one day about this as well.
Right,
we'll have the whiteboard.
Which I am. I'm going to do a plug, but I am doing a talk tomorrow night, virtual at 6:30 p.m. And it's breaking down epigenetics. And if you go to my website, you can sign up.
Yeah. And the website is Bella Vita Alchemy, alchemy.com, ALCHEMY.com. And there's a link there where you can register for the event.
Right.
Yes.
So, so this conversation came up because, in one of the groups I was, one of the entrepreneur groups that I'm part of, you know, we started talking about it, and someone had questions about what in the world this, you know, epigenetics thing is they keep seeing everywhere. And then it says it right on their, you know, $120 face cream. And they're like, what the heck is this?
120.
So-
It's amazing. It's just a.
Oh no, yeah, trust me, that's cheap.
I'm not trying to hate on, you know, the pricing. It's just like I'm just astounded. I really am.
Well, and some of that is
Yeah.
because they have done the study, the research, the R&D on what plants and what's da. There are lots of ways to get this information and not spend $120, and some things that you can make yourself if you happen to be a crafty person, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Tom and I used to have a show called Empty Vessels.
I was thinking that.
And our main thing was what are you consuming, right? And it wasn't just what are you consuming as food? What are you consuming as everything? Because it sounds like, Jen, what you're talking about is that very concept of all the things that your
Yes.
body consumes through all of your sensory inputs and outputs affect your daily life.
Exactly. And no, and that's exactly it. And that's like the core of my whole, you know, my whole coaching practice is I don't tell people what to do. I ask them to really pay attention to themselves and exactly that. Like, what are you consuming? What are you, you know, doing every day? What are your habits and routines and behaviors that are influencing your own health and wellness?
Right.
And to pay attention to that and, you know, and then make adjustments. You know, and that's the thing too, is like, you know, you have to be ready to do it. And, you know, I talk about it all the time. It's called the stages of change. Like, so no one's going to change unless they're ready to change, unless they're all in and they're ready to do it.
Indeed.
I like
So-
that word adjustment you use, because it's not a redirect. It is just hey, maybe change your angle of attack just a little bit, right? To what your whatever
Course
your perception
correct,
is.
yeah.
Right, a course correction.
Right. Well, like, it's like, you know, January 1st, everyone goes into it. It's like, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to do everything different. And I'm going to go to the gym every day. And I'm not going to eat cookies ever again.
That last
And
5
I'm going to
seconds.
stop drinking. And I'm going to stop smoking and stop drinking. And it's like, no, you're not. But if you make like baby steps and small adjustments, it builds on each other. It builds on, you know, itself. You know, and that's like one of my clients that did the again, another plug, the 90-day wellness journey that I do. She found at the end of it that, you know, her biggest goal was she wanted to improve bedtime and her bedtime routine, because that completely affected her entire day the next day. And, you know, instead of saying, you know, going to bed, you know, after doom scrolling until 1 a.m. and then all of a sudden, you know, saying, oh, I'm going to go to bed at 9:30. It's like, no, that's not going to happen.
Well,
You know, but
and-
she started just pushing it back incrementally, saying, okay, I am going to go to bed before midnight, and I'm going to put my phone in a different room so I don't scroll. And then she pushed it back. And then, you know, and all of her other health indicators that she was tracking followed from there.
Right.
There is something to be said about healthy sleep.
Yes,
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
very
Um,
much.
And part of that is going to bed at a reasonable time. Part of that is what are you consuming right before you go to sleep, right?
Mhm.
Because you
Right.
can wake up refreshed or you can wake up exhausted and have the same number of hours of sleep. But if you change the resources that are going into your body prior to that, it's going to change how your subconscious and your brain works through all of that stuff.
Mhm.
Right.
Brain
So-
is such a
yeah, and that's-
processor.
Right? You
It
almost
is,
have
and
to
and it can
defrag
be
your hard drive.
overwhelming.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming.
Exactly. Right. And it literally is like, it literally is hacking and reprogramming your brain.
Mhm. It's funny that you
Which
say that
is-
because I'm sorry, go ahead, Jen.
No, that's what I was just going to say, which goes back to, that's, you know, again, it all goes back to gene expression.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You know, the first, and it's an imperfect book, but the first book that I wrote is called How to Program Your Life. And
Yep.
it was at a time when I was definitely in a different place in my life as far as like the level of success. And, you know, we're not flying around in like a jet with millions or anything like that, but we're doing okay. And you
No
know,
Maseratis for you.
thankful for that. But you know, the premise of the title was basically being able to rewire your brain and establish the self-discipline that can be had. And, my theory is anybody can, as you say, make those small steps to make a positive improvement in your life. And it has to do a lot with brain hacking. It
Right.
has to do with the atmosphere that you set yourself up in, of course. But sometimes it's about that inner chi that you're like, okay, this is willpower. And, like you said, Jen, can't all do it on January 1st. It's like little small
No.
incremental changes in the
I,
right
I
direction.
like to say it's not just willpower, it's won't power. I won't be doing this and I won't do that. Right.
Ooh.
I will be doing
Yeah.
the things that are healthy for me and I won't do those bad habits.
Ooh, I like that
Right.
word. I like
I
that
won't do
word.
it. It's
Yeah.
my won't power.
Yep.
Right.
What is
No,
it?
it's true. It is. And also the thing too is like, you're not, I have a lot of clients come to me and I'm like, and I tell them like, you have to give yourself a break. It's like you want to change all these things. Okay, great. I'm happy that you're motivated to do all of that. And I'm going to help you figure out how to, and, to keep you accountable to do it. But, if you're in the middle of like, the rest of your life is chaos and you're living in survival mode and you're in the middle of, stuff going on with your kids or your parents, or you're changing jobs or you're getting divorced or whatever it is yeah, give yourself a break. Because you have all this other stuff you're trying to deal with. So, if what you can do for yourself today is go outside and sit down in the sun
With sunscreen.
for like
Well, there's that.
10 with that, yeah.
Mhm.
And for like 10 minutes. And if that is what you can do, and that's the one thing you can do for yourself today, then do that.
That's 10 minutes
And
of
it
rest.
doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be like, for meaningful change, you don't have to go for, a spa weekend or, sign up for, go to, force yourself to go to the gym.
Mhm.
Small amounts of rest.
If you can give yourself 10 minutes, or if you decide, you know what, I'm going to make myself dinner tonight. I'm not going to, go pick up Taco Bell on the way home.
Mhm.
Then you know what, you've done that for yourself today.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's funny. This morning I got up fairly early, like around 5:30, something like that.
Taco Bell was not open.
It was not. Yeah. Walk over there, come back. Yo quiero Taco Bell. But like I just woke up and, it's the usual thing. It's like take some vitamins, have some all brand, get some coffee in my system. Didn't hydrate, but coffee. Okay. And my dog's looking at me. His name is Watson. And he's like, dude, I gotta go outside and do my business. I'm like, oh, not right now. So he goes outside and he's in the backyard and he's already doing his ones and twos, as we call it around here. And, usually he goes in an area that he has designated where I can go over there and I can pick it up and put it away, which I did. And then he went over onto the other side of the yard and did it there. Then he did it in another part. I'm like trailing around with him, like, picking up. And then I pick up and
Yeah.
I'm like in a despondent mood. It's like, this is what I'm doing at 5:45, like picking up poop. But then I stopped for a moment after all the poop was picked up and I put it in its proper receptacle. And then I looked up at the beautiful blue sky for a moment. And I was like, you know what? Despite all the crap, my mood has changed.
Literally.
My mood has changed. I feel
Literally.
better just looking up
Yes.
at today, nice blue sky. So that was a win. And I walked back into
Yeah.
the house in a better mood. Epigenetics.
And that's about the
is.
stopping and smelling the flowers kind of thing when the poop is gone.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I'm getting out of this, Jen, is that your body needs rest, and rest does not necessarily mean sleep. It is not just about
No.
laying down, closing your eyes and all. Rest sometimes is just disconnecting from the world, spending some time in nature, and letting your body just kind of relax into itself.
Right.
Right.
So,
Exactly. And just doing just having a reset.
and some people's reset are not, it's not meant for, it's not like a one thing fits all, right? Some people want to go sit
No.
down by the river. Some people want to go to the woods. Some people just want to sit in front of the TV and disconnect. and your brain needs that, your body needs that. And on the flip side, if you spend a lot of time sitting there staring at your screen, sitting in a chair hunched over, it's better to get up, stretch for a second, take a deep breath, realign your body, which is also once your body gets realigned, that is a type of rest.
I have a question. I have a question for you.
Sure.
People that have, I have friends and family that have developed, have had various levels of OCD. Now, I don't want to, I'm going to say as a disclaimer, this is not a medical conversation. This is not.
I hear the severe version of that is called CDO.
This is more just like general, your thoughts on this. Could epigenetics potentially help to ease, let's just say, the routines that some people put in place in order to self-soothe? Now, I have friends that, for instance, like, if you stand in a certain part of the house, you feel better, or like, certain, like if I touch this door or I wash my hands, right? Do you think that epigenetics could maybe help to establish new routines that also self-soothe?
I think so, but
it's
again,
a little tricky of a question.
I think
I
it's
know.
more, it's more, I mean, OCD is a very complex psychological and neurological thing.
Agreed.
Whether it's someone who is, clinically diagnosed as OCD, or if someone who has, things that they do that, like you said, are self-soothing habits. But
yeah, maybe I'm getting a little like not OCD, the clinical, but like certain like routines and things like that.
I think it's more of a question of, are your habits healthy or are they destructive, right? So if your OCD is giving you healthy habits, then you're doing right by your body. If your healthy habits are, I'm smoking 4 packs of tobacco cigarettes a day, that's not good for you, right? And that's not telling you not to smoke, but it's saying that doing it at 4 packs of cigarettes a day, which killed my father.
I'm sorry.
No, well,
Didn't know
he
that.
did it to himself. He was unable to give himself healthy habits to cope what was going on in his life.
Right.
And sometimes it's because we don't have the support. And to get back to what Jen is doing, right? Jen is trying to give her clients that support to help them find the healthy habits.
Right. Agreed.
So Jen, if you were going to pick a few things, 3 or 4 things that would help just the general populace have a happy and healthy life, I know not everything is one size fits all, but like there are some things that are kind of across the board good for us all as humans, right? Can you give us some examples of that?
I just want to step back a minute and just say, like, when it comes to like Tom was asking first about, like, obsessive or self-soothing habits and things like that. I mean, what it comes back to is also, and I can't remember the name of the checklist. There's a name for it. But when like doctors and like psychologists are looking at a behavior, like, psychologically, they go back and they ask, like, how much is this affecting your life? How much is this limiting you having, thriving in your life? Is this harming you? Is this harming others? So it's like, there's a lot of things that you have to look at about that. And like, Mike, you were saying, like, if it's something you're doing that, you're really not harming yourself and it just makes you feel better,
right?
But it's not affecting your life in a negative way or affecting the lives of someone else in a negative way, then, it's okay. It's probably okay. But if it is bothering you, then, you should really talk to somebody about it. Because when I worked at the New York State Psychiatric Institute years ago, and, we did have, there was patients that had OCD, and, and you would see them, you would see the patients on their way to, to go see their, clinician. And they were having a really hard time because they had those, things where they had to press the button in the elevator like 5 times.
Right.
And there was like all of these things.
Yeah, that's
like
different.
That, or,
yep.
That's a whole other thing that it was significantly affecting their lives and the people around them. So, so that's that's the disclaimer I was saying about like that type of behaviors.
Yeah.
So Mike, now your question. I don't give people checklists, and I don't tell people you need to do this, you need to do that. I don't do that. I really, honestly, my whole practice is around, what do you need to do for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What is it? If you sit and you check in with yourself and you ask yourself, what serves me best in this moment for me to have, to be at my optimal today?
Yeah.
Like, what do I need? And I always go back to the analogy with like the battery, like your energy level of yourself or your motivation or what you can do today. It's like the battery level on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
If you wake up at a 15%, what can you do with that 15%?
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Okay.
I remember you telling me that a few weeks ago.
Yeah. And if your 15% is, okay, I have these 2 things that have to get done today. I'm going to do those 2 things and then I'm going to rest.
Which is a recharge.
And right. And you have to recharge the battery. If you wake up and you're at like, a 95, then go do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it really, you have to, figuring out what's best for you is really the key.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, and that's the thing with all of these, influencers and all of these things out there, and other practitioners, which I don't talk shit about I'm sorry, I cursed.
FCC danger. No,
Tom does it all the time.
We don't give a shit. We really don't,
No,
we're the honey badger.
Like,
This is the honey badger.
Practitioners, a honey badger. We
We can delete this part later.
Anyway.
Okay. Delete it later. So I mean, I don't talk about other practitioners, and people will say, you need to follow this diet plan. No, I don't do that. And it's because I'm sorry, but like when I've gone to, my own doctors or coaches or whatever, and, they're like, you need to do this. I'm like, I don't want to do that because I know for a fact that doesn't work for me.
Right. Yeah. And the way I look at it is like, for instance, like, and I'm just trying to install better daily habits that don't really, in the moment, shouldn't have that much of a positive or negative effect, but like long term is going to make a big difference. And one of the biggest ones is water. That's been,
I was going to bring it up.
It
seems like everybody is of some level of dehydration. No, not that saying that if you you can drink too much water and make yourself sick. So, but as a general rule, us as New Yorkers, as Rocklanders, as Americans, tend to not drink enough water.
Yeah, we just don't, which is ironic because we got great water resources around here, in my opinion.
Well, certainly in the Northeast.
Yeah. Yeah. So
to
you.
Go ahead.
You.
We're passing it back to you, Jen. Water.
Okay.
Tell us about water.
I was going to say, just the only other thing, like I would say is like, figuring out how to decrease stress or at least manage your stress, putting some like healthy practices in place. To decrease your cortisol levels and your stress. Again, trying to limit your exposure to chemicals and, things that are going to actually disrupt your own biology. And, and like, that's the whole thing too, is like, when people say to me about the whole DNA, like, oh, it changes your DNA. I'm like, no, it does not change your DNA.
Yeah. And that's very pragmatic.
The things that change your DNA are going to cause cancer or make you a supervillain. So no, it doesn't change your DNA.
Right.
But yeah, so I think it's just, trying to live, your best, your healthiest, most intentional life is really the key.
Nice. And we were talking before about it's going to be quite the disruptive traffic on Friday in Rockland County.
Goodness.
So whichever way you cut it, one of the things that we recommended is to make good travel choices on your way to work or, taking the kids or whatever, just be aware of that. So at least you have more of or less of a stress level as you're doing your transportation in general. Obviously Google Maps and finding alternate routes to things. And that in itself is a good strategy for reducing one's stress level.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, but high levels of stress causes a chemical called cortisol,
Yeah.
which increases your beltline, which increases your bad things in your body, right? You're always trying to reduce your cortisol levels. So if you reduce your stress, that will help, correct?
Yes, no, absolutely. Because our bodies haven't, I mean, if you think about it, we haven't evolved that much as humans. So we're still wired in the world where, you know, literally we had to fight or flight or we were going to die. You know, so a stressor of sitting there at your computer and reading an email from your boss and feeling the stress just descend upon you, your body is reading that the same as that, you know, a saber-toothed tiger is going to eat me. It's the same stress.
Right.
It's your body doesn't know the difference.
And I think something
an email and imminent death.
Yeah. Email is one of the worst instant creators of stress. And it's one of those that I've put it in my first book, How to Program Your Life. It's the thing that just keeps on giving, but not what you want. It's like when I open up my email in the morning and I try to stay as far away from it as possible until we finish the news these days, because this is more enjoyable. Ironically,
even if it's negative news, it's still more enjoyable.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
emails.
Because admittedly, it's not, you know, a lot of it isn't affecting me, and I can make choices based on the news and it's like it's out there. Okay, it's at least that's the way I perceive it. But when the emails come in, it's, you know, it directly affects me and or the companies and the clients and everything. So we have to make decisions on the fly, and I'm just not ready for that at 5:30 in the morning. So it is absolutely a stressor, in my opinion. I hate email. Hate it. I need to sign up for your course just to like avoid email.
Well, and going back to traffic causes a lot of stress.
Does.
Right?
Does.
And sometimes there's no avoiding it because you got to get to work, you got to get to your kids, you got to get them. We live in a very fast-paced culture, very fast-paced world. And there's a lot of stress that comes along with that. So any way that you can reduce that stress, that cortisol level, sometimes it's listening to music, even in the car, right? Sometimes it's about planning your day and what did you consume prior to getting in that car.
Yeah. And Jennifer, before we wrap up, tell us once again about the event that you are running. And again, it's Epigenetics 101. And you're going to be running a virtual workshop tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, tomorrow night at 6:30. If you sign up and you can't make it at 6:30, I will send you a replay, so you won't miss it. So that's one of the workshops I'm running tomorrow. And I also have, you know, open enrollment for the 90-day journey.
Yep, I'm on it.
Which is an experiment that you do on yourself. So you go in, and I've designed it just like a little mini clinical trial that you do on yourself. And for 90 days, you check in and you fill out, you know, questions about how you slept, what you ate, your, you know, hydration. You could add a few key focus areas for you know, for yourself. And at the end of the 90 days, and in there, I also do individual coaching. But at the end of the 90 days, I analyze your data and you get a report on yourself.
Yep. And I'm on it. And I need to send you my my data.
Yes. Yep. So, yes. And it's been a lot of fun. When the first cohort completed in March, and so the information they had was incredible. Like one woman found out that she always knew she didn't like Wednesdays, but she didn't know why. And then the data,
it's because that's the day that we're on.
No, God, no.
Maybe she's not listening.
No, she didn't like Wednesdays. But the thing is, though, I didn't know that she didn't like Wednesdays. And when I ran her data Wednesday, all of her markers like sleep and eating, everything like plummeted on Wednesdays. And I'm like, what's going on Wednesdays with you? And she's like, oh, I have this meeting that I have to go to in the city that I hate. And I saw it in her data before she even told me why Wednesdays suck.
So now we're talking about not just the stress in the meeting, but you got to get to New York. for that, right? So you have the traffic issue, you have the running around because you got to schedule things, and then you got to sit in a meeting that you're already stressing about.
Yes.
So that's stress on top, stress on top of stress.
Right. It was a required in-person meeting in Midtown that she had to go to. That was actually a colossal waste of her time. And like I said, I saw it in the data before she even told me why she hates Wednesdays.
Makes sense.
So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. The 90-day journey has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fantastic programs that you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I'm having fun.
Good.
Which is important to lower your stress and keep your cortisol level down.
Without a doubt. Jennifer Lehman from Bella Vita Alchemy. And if you want to sign up for Epigenetics 101, it's going to be live on May 21st, virtual. You go to bellavitaalchemy.com. That's BELLAVITAALCHEMY.com. She also has a Substack, substack.com @BellaVitaAlchemy. And you can register for not just the Epigenetics 101 workshop, but also for the 90-day wellness challenge. And Jennifer, you actually have some other things in the works along with Rockland News. And I know you and Mike have spoken. We talked yesterday. So looking forward to seeing some of those things happen over the next, 90 days. It's going to be fantastic.
We'll talk about gardening and food and all sorts of stuff.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited, and I hope that everyone's going to be hearing me on here a little bit more.
Absolutely, we welcome you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being on today, and we look forward to having you on once again on Rockland News. Have a great rest of the day.
Stay cool because it's hot.
Yes, yeah, definitely. My dog's bugging me for a walk, and we're not doing that.
Yeah.
No, speaking of hydration and not drinking enough water. So
exactly. Yeah, and pavement too wet on his little toe beans.
Yes.
So
have a great day and stay cool today.
Have a great day, guys. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Jennifer Lehman, one more time. That's bellavitaalchemy.com. And that's the place where you can sign up for free, by the way. Epigenetics 101. Live on May 21st. It's going to be a virtual event. Should be all sorts of fantastic, yo. So we had quite the morning. It's like we have about 7 cups of coffee in us.
And it's about time to talk about our sponsors again.
That's right.
Yay, sponsors!
Mike's over here dancing.
I'm grooving to our sponsors. Tell us about our sponsors, Tom.
Well, we got the New York Boulders baseball team. They are going to be doing some fantastic stuff over at the stadium, over at Clover Stadium. You can get tickets at nyboulders.com for their 15th annual tour of duty with the baseball team over there. We got Yabu Fence Company for all of your fencing needs. It's established in 1965, family-owned business. They do residential, commercial, and industrial fencing. Dana Pest Control, I actually recommended them the other day, Mike.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Someone had some pests that needed to be tended to?
Well, it's a restaurant that could use a little help.
I've also heard that there's concerns about the tick population this year, and Dana Pest Control can help you with that.
That's correct. And the only thing that I would say, you don't need to have any remediation to something like this.
I mean, unless they're eating your garden.
But the tick season is off the charts.
Right.
I saw something with a heat map and New York, where we are, northeastern New York, it's red.
Ticks and mosquitoes, horrible.
Yep.
Call Dana Pest Control. They'll help you out.
Easy Temp for all your ice machine repairs and your commercial refrigeration needs.
Especially because it's hot today.
Yep. And then we have our restaurants and entertainment venues. I mean, there's a lot of really cool things. Why don't you take it away, Mike?
Fiesta Acapulco, Kobe Sushi, Whole Shop Bagels. All of these places want to fill your belly, fill your soul, and give you great stuff.
Absolutely.
And as far as getting up, being entertained, keeping your body active, go to Breakpoint Bowling, where it's more than just bowling.
That's right.
Running around with your laser tag gun sounds like a lot of fun to me.
$2 million facility in West Haverstraw, New York.
$2 million. That's an investment. Let me tell you.
Huge widescreen TVs, restaurant, arcade, laser tag, and of course, awesome bowling. They have DJs and everything. It's an amazing place. We got Whole Shot Bagels.
Whole Shot Bagels. If you need to deliver some tasty bagels, say to your friends over in Chicago or LA.
Yes.
You go to the UPS store and send it overnight.
With overnight delivery. Yeah.
Right.
They can also do your business cards, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Business cards, printing. They got it the whole 9 yards.
They got more than just delivering packages. Is that what you're telling me?
Everything. It does it all. It does all of it.
Does it do IV rehab physical therapy like we have in West Avistro?
It does. Yeah. And, if you go in there and there's this sign across the way that says it's all about the people, I believe it's all about the people.
Well, I mean, because the people need the physical therapy.
Yes. Susan Bova from Coldwell Banker Realty. 99 signs. Mike?
A sign without a business?
Is a business with no sign.
It's a business. Wait, I think I said that
backwards.
That's
fine.
Reverse.
It's fine. Take another swig. A business without a sign
is a sign with no business.
You get all your signs at 99signs.com for all your digital billboard and portable sign needs.
And we may not have perfection here on the show, but FZ Perfection is a perfectionist about your auto body.
Mike knows how to bring it down nice and slow to enunciate, which is a beautiful thing. Not everybody can do that.
Sometimes my tongue gets caught in front of my eye tooth and I can't see what I'm saying.
It's a thing. It happens to me too. But FZ Perfection will help you to get your car in perfect condition. So they're awesome. They're located in Congers, New York. And of course, Clean Space Maintenance Management Company. Get the mobile dumpster so you could get a whole bunch of spring cleaning done in one shot. They bring it right to the dump and they get rid of all that stuff for you. And of course, Stony Point Massage, located in Stony Point, New York, one of our new sponsors. We appreciate you.
And let us not forget all of our craft beverage and dispensaries and all of the tasty things we want to consume.
Yeah.
We have District 96 and Noble Experiment Brewing Company and Round Table. Stony Point Brewing Company, which is being sold out of the Bricktown Brew House in West Haverstraw, Red Barn Cidery with Dr. Davies, and Van Houten Cidery, which is part of their garden center down in Nanuet.
That's right. So on behalf of myself and Mike, we want to thank you for joining us on today's AM Rockland's News.
And I'd like to thank Jen Lima one more time for coming on our show, talking with us, and trying to give us, the citizens of Rockland, more of an idea on how to maintain a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, it makes the show a lot more insightful and more rich when we have quality interviewees, people that we get to interview and talk about things that they're very passionate about. And this is open to you who are listening. We're going to have the podcast board is going to be open to the general public in the next few weeks. So we'll give you the phone number to call in. But if you have a comment or something that you want to add, we're going to make it mega easy for you to tune in and be able to provide your comments on the air. We usually get between 1,000 and 2,000 listens per episode. Plus, we have Rockland's News, the podcast, which is available on Apple and Spotify. And stay tuned. We're going to have that also on iHeartRadio. We also have the video podcast now with guests from Rockland County and also town supervisors and stuff. And finally, to get all the news that matters to you most, that's relevant in Rockland County, head over to rocklandsnews.com. So on behalf of myself and Mike Kluger, we wish you a great day. Be careful.
Drink more water.
Yeah. Watch out for the traffic on Friday because it's going to be a thing.
And bring your tomatoes back inside after tomorrow because it's going to get cold.
And we'll keep you posted on what's going on. Also, Mike, I might or might not be on the air on WABC radio on Thursday.
WABC.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted on that. So, we're just going to give you like the landscape of what's going to be happening on Friday, a preview, if you will. And then we'll go from there. So thanks everybody for tuning in and we'll catch you next time.
Be well.
You're listening to Rockland News, available on Apple, Spotify, and online at rocklandnews.com. Thanks for joining us today. Here are your hosts, Tom